there anything more painful in comics than being a Spider-Man fan?
What do you mean?
I mean, Marvel likes to drag Spider-Man fans through the coals. Take this for example. Have you ever read the One More Day story?
Yeah, isn't that the one they put out shortly after the Civil War event?
Yeah, it was the retcon, not really a retcon, they had to put out to, quote, fix Spider-Man.
Refresh my memory, how is this connected to Civil War?
So, Spider-Man sided with Iron Man in Civil War on the pro-registration side of the argument. As a result, he had his identity revealed to the world, publicly.
Oh yeah, now I remember. That was one of the better written portions of Civil War.
Marvel had to go and mess everything up with One More Day. Joe Quesada was EIC at the time. He had done some phenomenal work on the Spider-Man books when he was on them, but this decision was borderline brain dead. He wanted to reset the status quo of Spider-Man. He wanted to erase everything that he felt was holding the character back.
Like the identity reveal?
Yes, but also the marriage to Mary Jane. They erased that from the consciousness of everyone in the Marvel Universe.
What, why?
That's what Mephisto, the MCU version of the devil. Peter and MJ made a deal with him to save Aunt May's life. They gave up their marriage, and the result is complete erasure of their relationship and subsequent events. Spider-Man is a bachelor again, all because Quesada didn't believe Peter had a longevity as a character if he was married.
That's ridiculous.
I know. Spider-Man was one of those characters that I felt like was ahead of me on the curve. Time progressed slower in comics than in real life, but I felt that Peter was a couple steps ahead of me on the path of life. When I started reading Spider-Man, he was in college. Then he got married, and I always felt that I could look ahead to him for the next steps. I know that sounds kind of silly.
That makes sense. He was a role model to you. Completely understand that. So why are you reading it?
If you aren't a hardcore Spider-Man fan, you won't understand. Remember how I said it's painful being a Spidey reader? Well, yeah. Marvel tortures Spider-Man fans. We have to put up with some of the weirdest stories, and Marvel knows we'll keep reading no matter how much crap they put us through.
What do you mean?
Well, in a couple that come to mind, Spidey fans have been subjected to a horrendous clone storyline where the real Peter Parker was thought to be a clone, and then after a while he was revealed to be the real one. Then we had a story where Spider-Man turned into a giant spider and gave birth to himself, don't ask, and then with One More Day, he gets his history rewritten by what is essentially the devil.
That sounds odd.
Yeah, it is. Like I said, Marvel likes to torture Spider-Man readers.
So why do you keep reading?
You have to ask? Because he's Spider-Man.